Welcome onto the field here at Research Stadium ahead of Oregon State's football matchup with the Washington Huskies. This is the Orange Media Network football preview. I'm Josh Worden, the play-by-play voice for KBVR FM. To my right, Brenden Slaughter, the color commentator and sports director with KBVR. To my left, Brian Rathbone, the sports editor of the Daily Barometer. So Oregon State and Washington, a 3:07 p.m. kickoff today. The Beavers trying to get their first Pac-12 win of the season. Washington coming off the loss to Arizona State. They need 2 wins to become bowl eligible. So Oregon State with 24 points on the board last week against California in that 30-point loss. In terms of the offense, Brian, what are kind of the 3 things we're looking for today when the Oregon State offense is on the field?
Well, Josh, you kind of touched on it a little bit. They scored 24 points last week against Cal, which was a step in the right direction after scoring 25 total points their 3 previous games. So they need to continue to put points on the board. It's going to be tough against Washington, who ranks first in scoring defense and second in total defense in the Pac-12. So just staying on the field will be important to not let the defense dominate the game. They're going to also need to use their playmakers. I mean, we saw Paul Lucas break out last game against Cal. He had 70 yards rushing. Almost had more. One wasn't called back for a penalty. And we also have Ryden All coming back, and that adds another dimension to the offense. So if they can find a way to keep incorporating those offenses along with Storm Bars Woods, maybe Damian Haskins as well, that'll be good. Good for them. And then another thing is continue to grow in the passing game. Nick Mitchell, before he got injured, was having probably his best game as a quarterback. If he can keep doing that, Oregon State stands a chance in this game.
All right, now Brenden switching over to the defensive side, giving California its most ever yards in a football game last week, 760 yards of offense. Oregon State's defense going to face another test against Washington. What are we looking at for the OSU D?
Well, kind of a get-well scenario for Oregon State is they're playing a team that actually ranks 11th in the conference in scoring offense. So Washington doesn't score the ball a whole lot. They control their flow of the game. They're a very Chris Peterson coached team where they control the clock, very safe, fundamental play calling. With that being said, my first key is going to be to really kind of put pressure on Jake Browning. This is the first time, this season where Oregon State's had to go against a true freshman quarterback in the Pac-12 as compared to the bevy of experienced ones like Jared Goff, Kevin Hogan, so on and so forth. They get to play a guy that doesn't have, a full year. So if Oregon State can get pressure on him, he can force him into some mistakes. Secondly, Oregon State has to try to contain the duo of Myles Gaskin and Jadon Mickens. Last year, Jadon Mickens torched Oregon State's secondary, and Washington really ran away with the game, to be honest. He's a very talented wide receiver. And then on the other side, Myles Gaskin is one of the most up-and-coming running backs in the Pac-12, rushing for 800 plus yards so far as a true freshman. He's explosive out of the backfield. Oregon State's got to try to slow him down. And then finally, Oregon State's secondary needs to just play with some pride in this game. Last week against Cal, Jared Goff threw 6 touchdown passes, over 400 yards. Oregon State needs to put the clamps down on these wide receivers and try to play with some stout, elusiveness in the secondary to keep, Browning off base because, Oregon State's defense last week just got shredded.
So Oregon State at 2-8 on the year, trying to get their first win over a Power 5 team. Let's get some score predictions in this one. Brian, you're up first.
Call me crazy, call me irrational, but I still believe Oregon State's going to win another game this year. And it comes down to either this game or next week in the Civil War against Oregon. So I'm taking Oregon State with a 24-17 victory over the Huskies.
Wow. OSU winning 24-17. Brenden, do you agree?
Call me crazy too, I guess, Josh. I'm saying, I really liked your prediction, the barometer, the same 2011 redshirt freshman quarterback. I really like that. If Oregon State can do something offensively against this Washington defense, Washington's offense is not good either this year so far. I'm saying Oregon State 27, Washington 25. Oregon State kicks a field goal to win it.
Wow, couple Oregon State wins in this one. It's going to be tough against a Washington defense that ranks number 1 in the league in scoring defense. Call us crazy. It's 3 Oregon State picks, 17-13 Beavers. But Washington up by 15 in the Las Vegas prediction. So we're all out of our minds. But if we're right, maybe we knew something no one else did. So for Brenden Slaughter, Brian Rathbone, Jonathan Parrish, and Logan McGinnis, I'm Josh Worden. Thanks for watching the Orange Media Network Football Preview.